Let's go ahead and try it real quick, Sagara. Send me a request real quick. We're gonna do a quick test. Go live. As soon as you pop on, let me see you. There you go.
What's good? What's good?
Audio cool. You hear it?
Yeah, I hear you.
Let me see if I can hear you. There
Am
you
I
go. Say
good?
something. There you
I'm
go.
good. All
Okay.
right.
All right. Go ahead and pop off of here. And nice to see you, man.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Let's see how
And
to
we'll
get out of
we'll
here.
we'll tap back in right after the wins.
All
You'll
right,
see
all
me
right.
introduce you. All right. We got a little time. What's up, lady producer? What's up, lady producer? What's up, Sagara? What's up, Nappy Music? Nice to see you. Gonna be a great live today. It is, man. It's gonna be a great live today. They are great, though. I mean, to be honest with you, we are actually gonna. This was kind of anticipated, man. I see a few people are actually waiting to see you come in here, so it's actually real dope. Let me turn this light down a little bit. It's a little bright for my taste. Got me illuminated too much. Hold on. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Turn this on. There we go. Get it a little vibey up in here, you know? Can't be doing too much, right? It's a good Friday, man. It's a really good Friday. Things got conquered, slayed this week. I'm taking the gloves off today, family. I am taking off the gloves today. Oh, me? Nah, cause like if I go first, then you know people are gonna miss it. There's hardly anybody in here. Oh shit! The heck was that? I've got Instagram on my PC so I can view comments as well. Sweet. Revision Music, what's up? Nice to see you. We gonna light it up today, man. Um, I don't know. It's I don't like the fact that like how when I first started doing the lives, it was basically my angle was just all sync, synchronization, information, how to set your music up, contact the music supervisors, that kind of thing. And then I very quickly realized I can't even say that. I was just thinking one day about my own journey and just about how hard it was. I mean, not the whole sync side of it, but the whole personal life side of it, the family and the friends and, you needing encouragement or them days when, you know, you feel like you might just need a push because some of us are just self-motivated, but it never hurts to, get a little nudge of encouragement from the people that are close to you. I mean, you might not expect it or, seek it from the outsiders, but the people that are right around you, you might, it might be good sometimes. And so when you don't get that, that's just one of the things that makes it rough. So then the live started kind of morphing into a like, okay, so we're going to address the hustle, you know, the daily hustle, the ups and downs of life mixed in with the, grind of trying to make something out of this music thing, right? And so, and it's cool because it's been able, we've been able to, expand and broaden our conversations with each other and talk about a lot more than just, quote unquote sync. Even though sync is why we're here and sync is what we're doing and what we're aspiring for, the road to sync entails a lot of skills and personality traits that will definitely carry you over into other areas of your life, especially when you are able to master both sides, when you're able to have your balanced home life and your home life is cool and you got a good foundation there, and then you're able to jump on this side and hustle and do what you need to do on the sync side. And it takes, it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. It's difficult. And so, I was thinking over about the live over the past couple of days and kind of just marveling at how it's evolved from like one thing to another thing. And then, I mean, you guys don't know, but like, during the week, when I'm just doing my thing, I'm bebopping, like we're busy running the company and stuff, but I'm always aware of what's going on and trying to stay a few steps ahead of this sync game, just, A, for my own survival and benefit in the game. And then to be able to come to you guys and, keep you guys 2 steps ahead and then give you guys information. And it sucks because like, not that sucks, but let me tell you what sucks. What sucks is because the live started off as like, very fun, informational, lighthearted, right? And then, we start addressing these issues, these things that go on in life. And, sometimes the lives get a little bit serious and we talk about real stuff, which is cool because these things are, we need to talk about these things. The conversation needs to be had, right? And so over the past couple of days, as I've been doing like, my due diligence on, what's going on in the sync world and just, basically music world in general, I realized that like my last couple lives and then my next probably few lives, even though I'm always going to swing it to, a positive and what we can do and this and that, there's a little bit of darkness coming up, man. And I'm just going to be real with y'all. It's just the way things are. And you guys are like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, we're going to get to that after we get to all of the stuff on today's Producer Whisperer Live, Sync Hustle Mindset. Welcome everybody to today's episode. Check this out. All right. Okay. So, today we have a very special guest. Sagara Productions is going to be coming on in a little while. And we got to know him basically from this live, man. He's gone from a guy that's popped in and had a few questions, and now I kind of felt like I had to bring him in here and interview him because he's, bringing some bangers in the win section every time we do the win segment at the beginning of each live, and he's bringing some value. He's actually helping in ways, giving you guys information and affirming certain things that I've been saying, basically letting you know that it can happen, right? And he's still basically at the beginning, but he's already scored some wins. So we're going to be talking to Sagara in a little bit. But first, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we're going to be going over the win section. So you might as well go ahead and get down in the comments right now and let me know what kind of wins that happened to you this week. I don't care what it is, whether you already know, man, if it's whatever you did, if you studied something, if you completed something, and if you got a win in your personal life, if you got a win in your music life, I don't care what it is, but if you didn't have enough celebration about it go ahead and put it in the comments. So we're gonna give you some fire emojis and we're gonna celebrate it with you today. So let's go ahead and pop in the bottom real quick. I'll start. Kim and I kick butt this week real quick while I'm waiting for one to pop up on the bottom here. And we realized that in order to bring our people the best possible sync opportunities, um, and to be able to pay attention to the guys on our team, to the people on our team that really get it, that are able to fulfill time commitments, work to briefs, turning in music on a steady basis, knowing how to turn the music in, such and such and such. All of these things are attributes that are applicable in high level sync, where you're getting nice, juicy sync payments up front for upper level sync payments. This is higher level network television featured stuff, promo stuff, and at the top of the food chain, advertising. And so, so we knew that in order to give you guys the best possible opportunities, that we were going to have to get some direct connections to some people that are the hardest to get to, and these are advertising companies. And so Kim and I did the damn thing. And actually, as a long time coming, we've been working on it for a long time. But we made some connections, direct connections with some major advertising companies and got in with them. And so now we're providing some hellified briefs, man, for some nice, top of the food chain money. And we're going to talk about, the levels to sync and how you can get from where you are to where you need to be, where you want to go, after we go through this win section. But I'm just very, very happy for Smash Coast. I'm very, very happy for Kim and I, because, it's like, I wish I could tell y'all everything that's going on, but it's like the company changed this week. We went from this kind of company to this kind of company. And so it's kind of going to change some things as far as where we're pitching music to and how we're pitching music, and, the people on our team that are, we'll get into that another time, because I'm going to be doing another town hall. So I didn't want to talk about too much about Smash Coast unless it's just to the Smash Coast people. But we got to win this week, man. Major, major, major. So here we go. Fire emojis for Smash Coast. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. It feels good, man, even at this stage of the game, because it never stops. You guys are hustling. We're hustling. The hustle never stops. We're going to have a conversation today, man, after we get these wins in. So come on now. Let's see these wins at the bottom so we can get them out of the way, so we can go ahead and get Sagara on here and do this interview. We're not going to skip them. I was going to ask you guys if you guys wanted to go straight to the interview, but nah, we do the wins because, we need to celebrate each other. Sagara jumped in first. Look, submitted his first cue as a senior composer this week, along with wrapping up a track for an indie game. Took 5 revisions. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. So we're not even gonna go into that too much, Sagara. We could talk about that. So what's up, Gypsy Man Pro? When you come on the live a little bit, because I want you to share these types of things, and then I want you to talk about the type of things that led to these types of things. You know how to do it, man. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to interview. I'm sure you made a few submissions. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Celebrate Lady Producer. She got some submissions in. Lady Producer, man, I see you. I was talking to Tay the other day, and Kim, as a matter of fact, and I was like, man, Lady Producer popped on Facebook talking about took care of the grandbabies all day, whoop, 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 got them handled, whoop, whoop, whoop. And then at the end of the night, you still got your music stuff done and got your submission turned in. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's like you dedicated as hell and you're still able to find balance and get the work done. It's like you got to have the right mindset for that. You can't be all in your head about stuff and a bunch of stuff going on in your life to be able to have that type of efficiency. And I appreciate it. I see you. I saw that post and I had to tell him, I was like, you see what she posted on there? Like I applaud that, man. Hats off for real. So fire emojis. Okay, so I am Shay Keys. What's up, man? He says, I was able to compose a full song brief from scratch within 12-hour deadline. Definitely fire emojis for that. We celebrating Shay Keys for that because that's part of what it takes to win in this game is that dedication of being on time, like that no slacking off, that I'm gonna get the job done attitude. That also I'm not gonna let nobody beat me attitude. That helps a little bit too, that competitive spirit. So definitely, definitely, definitely fire emojis for I am Shay Keys. That's what's up. 12-hour deadline, man. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. We live on that. We live on quick deadlines. We just did one same day. It was the same day. It was like we dropped it probably like no, so it's probably like an 8-hour deadline. And we had a bunch of people turn dope stuff in. Not a bunch of people, but the squad, that does turn in a bunch of stuff, they turned in some heat, so I do appreciate it, and I appreciate it when I see other people do it. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Let's see them, man. Add him with the fire emojis. Stop playing. We're going to get through it. "12-hour brief." Okay. Nice. Like for real, for real. Okay, so you guys can keep them coming. We got some celebrations out the way, so let's go. Let's go. Let us go. Let us go. Let us go. Let us go. I'm waiting for the next win here, y'all. Come on now. Okay, so you guys done with the wins. Okay, so are you guys ready for ready for this interview? Hit me with a one in the comments if you guys are ready for the interview then. I was trying to celebrate. You guys want to be all shy about the wins. I know you guys really did some crazy cool stuff, but let me go ahead and get a one in the comment if you guys are ready for the interview. And we'll just get to it. I Sagara, like, come on, let's go, let's go. All right. Okay, so let me be professional then. Let me go to my notes real quick. And just real quick. Derek Rice. That's crazy. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, you guys. Oh, Taekwon Black made some great music this week. What's up, Taekwon Black? I didn't even know you was in here. What's up, my brother? Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Great music made for Taekwon Black. Let's go ahead and get him in real quick. Fire emojis, we celebrating. I'm always celebrating making good music. Okay, so without further ado, directly from the producer Whisperer Live and hailing from Florida. This guy's all the way in Florida, so we got a time difference, man. So let's get it popping. So this is Martin Sagara Richards. He has, go ahead and send me another invite, Martin, so I can pop you in here. Sagara Productions Richards, he's got credits on Bravo, NBC Universal, Warner Brothers, Discovery, Netflix, Urban One, and more. And he's relatively new to the sync game, so he's already starting to kill it. He appears to be the epitome of, learn and apply what you learn, rinse and repeat. And so without further ado, I'm gonna bring on Sagara Productions, Martin Richards. Accept, go. And here we go. What's up, man?
Hello, hello. Hey, everybody.
So you guys see him in the flesh this time. Let me get on camera good so you guys can actually see me. 'Cause I had to tilt this another way. Sorry for being so. There we go. I gotta see myself. There we go. So what's up, man? How's it going out there in Florida?
Uh, it's going good. Hurricane season just started, so I'm starting to, prepare
Yeah,
a little bit for that.
that's
But
that's pretty crazy living somewhere where there's hurricanes.
yeah,
So you born and raised in Florida?
yeah. Well, I lived in Georgia for a little bit, but for the most part, it's been Florida.
So you've been dealing with hurricane season every year of your life?
Pretty much,
Oh yeah, so you
essentially.
tough. You
Yeah.
tough guy then. We West Coasters, we couldn't handle nothing like that. That's crazy. Okay, so um give us a little bit of history about your music production, man. How long you been doing music?
I've been doing music since, I'd say about 2005 is when I picked up my first. It wasn't even a DAW. It was a beat machine. It was a Zoom RT 123, one of those small little things. It belonged to
Right.
my mother, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But my music history, if you want the full story, I can tell it because it's a long one though.
Yeah, it's on you. Like we want to know who you are and what you're about and stuff. I got some questions for you, but like, whatever you're willing to go ahead and spit, let's go.
So my entrance into music was because of my family. I have family members who are rappers, producers as well, aunts, uncles who play guitar or sing in choir, stuff like that. And so I was always surrounded by that energy. But most importantly, my mother is a singer and rapper. And over in the 90s, I was a little kid and I would watch my mom make, full songs from scratch at 2 in the morning. I'm just a little kid and I thought that was the coolest thing on earth.
No
Uh,
way. That's cool.
she had her beat machine plugged into a beat box and then a microphone plugged into that, and she was just recording to a cassette tape. And I thought that was the coolest thing on earth. And that sort of it was like a seed plant for me, I suppose, to start making music. That even though I didn't really jump into it until a few years later, it sort of set the groundwork, I think. And she tried to get me an acoustic guitar. She gave it to me, and I didn't play it because I was a little ADHD kid. I couldn't focus on anything at all. So,
Same
but
here.
yeah, so I wasn't. I didn't really play it, but over the next few years, what really got me going was that we moved a lot. I counted when I was reading your email. It was 12 or 13 times, and each one of those times, I had to make a new friend group, and with that came the privilege of meeting people from different cultures and backgrounds and social classes, and these people would share their music with me. And I thought that was really dope because
Yeah, it's
I would
real dope.
essentially I would draw in all these things from them, and
Right.
the most notable one for me was there was this kid named Angel in 2005. He sold me a mixtape CD. This was prime LimeWire days. I know some of y'all know what LimeWire was, but
Oh
he
yeah.
sold me a mixtape of metal music, just what he listened to, what was from his culture, and it had
Right.
bands like Pantera and Anthrax, Children of Bodom, Arch Enemy, all the greatest
All
metal
right.
hits, and that really set off my interest in that scene, and that went on for a few years where I was listening to all these different types of music, and then 2008 hits. I have my notes right here. 2008 hits, and this is when the video game Guitar Hero 3 was out, and that
Right.
was all the rage. Everybody was playing Guitar
Right.
Hero, trying to beat that Dragon Force song. And that same year, I asked for my real first guitar. I wanted to, to do the thing, and I had no idea what I was doing. It's a guitar that was barely in, lessons out at the time, but I hopped on
Did you
YouTube.
get an acoustic or an electric?
It was an electric, yes.
Right.
My first electric, and I hopped on what we know as YouTube University to learn how to play.
Right.
And so that went on, and that led me into wanting to learn how to make full songs. So I learned about DAWs. Uh, my first DAW was Cakewalk. It was an old version of Cakewalk from the 90s, and this is the 2000s, but I learned that. And then I moved on to FL Studio, and I didn't like it. And then I moved on to Reaper, and I still use Reaper to this day. But
Oh, Reaper. I don't hear that much.
yeah, you don't hear it often, but it's a good DAW, you know. And those songs are long gone, those metal songs that I made, but I kept the MIDIs. I somehow
Oh,
salvaged
wow.
those. And some of those MIDIs were used for some of the cues that I'm making to this day. It was a lot of songs. Um, so that's like 2008 to like 2015. And then my mom, she came up to me and she was like, you know, you're really good. You should try to make money with your music. And I'm like, all right.
See,
And that's when
that's dope.
yeah, she was,
That's
you know,
dope. How
that's
many
dope.
mothers tell you to go make money with your music? It's usually the opposite.
Yeah, it's usually the opposite.
It's crazy.
So 2016 rolls around, and that's when I started Sagara Productions. That's when I started going by that name, and I started making beats and covers and stuff like that. And then I moved on to Fiverr, which is a very popular freelancing platform.
I've
And
used it.
that's how I started getting my clients, and I suppose that's what taught me how to take the language of people who may not be musically inclined and translating that into a full song. I didn't necessarily always ask for reference tracks, but most of the time I nailed it. Um, and that was a really good experience for me.
So you were producing stuff for people on Fiverr
Yes,
to make money. How'd you do on there?
I did pretty decent. I was scammed a couple times where someone had me like make a full song and then they were like, oh, I don't like it. And then they canceled the order, but I know they downloaded the song. That happened a couple times, but for the most part, it was a positive experience. Nothing but 5 stars. You can go on my profile is still up through my website, even though it's inactive. It's still there. You know, people were happy with what I did, and that taught me a lot. It really, I suppose, it laid the groundwork for sync. You know, even further, which led me into getting into sync because I had a client who I made a song for him, and it was for a talk show that he had. I don't know what became of that, but I was like, how do I get my music on the talk shows? And then I had another client who said that my music sounded like video game music, and I took offense to that at first because these were, but you know, I'm cool with it now. But I took offense to it at first, but then I started thinking. I was like, how do I get my music into video games? You know, I started asking these questions I didn't know, and you know, we jumped into 2019, and I started searching, and eventually I stumbled upon a guy by the name of Jesse Josephson. I think that's how you say his last name, of Sync My Music. He's a sync educator.
Right.
And I took his free course, his free sync course, and I thought I knew everything I needed to know to get into sync, and I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. I jumped into it.
So was it because the course wasn't informative enough?
I think it was decent for what it offered, but I think I wasn't internalizing the lessons that were trying to be taught, which that was my fault. I was so excited and so eager to jump into it that I really didn't do my due diligence like I should have. And let's see here. And by some miracle, I was able to get on the phone with the music supervisor.
Oh, wow.
Very rare. But she had me send her my beats. But these beats weren't structured for sync. These were 3-minute beats, 4 artists.
Oh, wow.
No stings, no quick intros. Catastrophic. You could tell when you're on the phone with someone and the energy's off. And it was very clear to me by the end of that call that I wasted this moment's time. essentially, by providing music that couldn't be synced, pretty much. Um,
And
so
you
that was,
recognized it. You recognized that it was because of the music that you said.
I didn't recognize it until like months later when I did some, some deep thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had to do some thinking to figure out, what was I doing wrong. But a couple days after that call, I got a response back from a music library, a very popular one that's still in business to this day, and they gave me a shot, even though I had no sync ready music. They gave me a shot, say, hey, can you do 10 tracks for us? And they gave me some references, and let's see, I tried to follow them to the best of my ability, but it took me so long to make that album that the person who was over my submissions, um, they left. He left the company.
I knew you were gonna say that. They're
It took
gone.
so long that he was gone.
Right.
So I had this album, and I tried to resubmit it to reach out to them, and I saw that they opened my emails, and I wasn't getting a response back. Or like, I just wasted this company's time. Why would they work with me?
Right.
Um, and it was very clear that I wasn't reliable at that point. I had to be, honest with myself. I failed hard, and I was down in the dumps for some months. Like I took that really hard. I'm like, I got to get it together. And then this was like, let's say like late 2019. Maybe we get into 2020, and then the pandemic hits.
Right.
And the pandemic hits, and I was like, you know what? Maybe the music thing isn't for me. I'm going to work for a bit. I worked at this tech company, and the majority of my job was training in AI.
What?
I was helping train in AI for a very large search engine company. I can't say which one because of NDAs, but I'm sure y'all can figure that one out. It's one of the most popular search engines. But I was training their AI, and that taught me a lot about like where technology might be going in that aspect. And so I did that for a year. I wasn't making any music, but the love was still there. So even though I wasn't making music, I was learning music theory because I didn't know music theory at the time. So I was
Right.
learning, my chords, my chord extensions, what notes are on the piano, stuff like that, just to educate myself. But that went on for a year, and then I say April of 2021, the client decided that they no longer needed the services from my company, and so they fired everyone. 150 people lost their jobs at once, and that happening sort of like made something click in my brain to where I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I not doing music? Why am I not pursuing what deep down I knew was my calling in life?
Right.
And so after getting fired, I started pursuing sync again, and I became pretty much hell bent on succeeding. I was like, you know what? I'm not giving up, no matter how many times I fail, no matter what happens. I'm going to pursue this, and I failed a lot. It was well into the double digits. I bought like the music library directories that people sell, thinking
Ugh.
thinking that I would be able to get into sync just based off that, and I was wrong. I kept getting rejected, kept getting ghosted, very consistent failures, and this went on for like months, and then eventually I did something that I had never done before, and what I did was that I asked for help, which is something that I rarely ever did. Uh, I was broken down in such a way and was at such a low point that I couldn't do anything else but ask for help.
That's very
Um,
wise, though.
yes, thank you. And that's how I stumbled upon Nathan, Excalibur Zero. Um, I basically went into this server and I aired out my grievances. I'm like, I'm doing all this, I'm submitting this many times, getting rejected, and it's like, what am I doing wrong? Clearly something's up. And Nathan saw this and he took interest and he's like, hey, um, I heard your story. Do you mind if I make a video about your website and your music? And essentially offering to get to the bottom of what was going on. And he made the video, and I watched it, and he was very honest with me. And that was something that I really needed from someone who is
So
knowledgeable.
he went and critiqued your website
Yeah.
and then listened to your music and then made a video about it
Hmm.
and gave it to you.
Yeah, that video is still up on YouTube. It's called Turning This Subscriber's Beat into Sync Placements. I think that's what it's called on YouTube. And that was
Right.
extremely helpful. That's what really kicked off my ascent into, getting better. Um, so after that video, I would show up to his weekly review streams, submitting cues, getting feedback. His and Anthony Clint as well. Shout out to Anthony Clint. I would show up to
Clint,
their streams. Yes, Clint
that's my guy.
Productions. Yes, I would show up to their streams, and I would learn as much as I could. Anytime they had anything to say about my cues, I would have Notepad open, taking notes. Like, hey, I need to bring the kicks up, or mix this better, or pull things back so dialogue can fit in, stuff like that. Very actionable advice. And
Right.
this went on for, let's see, from April, for like, yeah, like November all the way through April of 2022. And like between that, I just kept submitting. But by April, I had my first sync deal. Within, a few months of consistently showing up, consistently listening to what people who know more than me about the industry had to say. And I had my first sync deal. And then a couple months after that, I had another sync deal. And so I started making cues. And for the first one, there's this guy named Paul who worked with that company. And Paul really, really pushed me into becoming someone who was reliable. He would call me on my personal cell phone and say, hey, Martin, we need these cues done by like 2 days from now or 3 days from now.
Right.
He's like, can you do it? Or tonight. Sometimes there were same day briefs. And he was like, can you do it? And I would always say yes, because I was hungry for that success.
Right.
I never said no. And that really set me up for success to the point where, I'm getting offers for like Viacom. That had me do a bunch of tracks for them. And it's really, it was, I guess, building me up to be someone who was reliable. And then from that point, that's like late, 2022. And then by October of that year, I had my first placement, and then another one. And then they just kept snowballing. And this was what, October of Q4, so last year. From then to like now, I have over 100 placements because I was essentially built up to be that reliable source, that reliable person. So I'm very thankful for everyone in the community. I showed up to your streams as well to get game. I'm very appreciative of the advice and the game that you've given us. I don't think I'd be where I am without all of you folks. So I'm extremely, extremely thankful for that. But yeah, that's my story. I know it's a bit long.
You definitely have to pat yourself on the back, man, because there's so much to break down. You just said I'm not even gonna do it all on this live, but you are the epitome of what's necessary in this game. Because let me tell you, and these are sad statistics. They'll say basically that like 2 out of 10 of you guys will actually take this information and apply it and fail and get back up and apply it, learn more, and rinse and repeat until you achieve success. Because, be quite frank with you, a lot of people can't take those failures. It takes a certain kind of like mental stamina to even be able to come back from that. Like you said that, when you got rejected, it hurt you for months,
Yeah.
But still you pivoted and you got back up, and you even got to a point where you're like, you know what, damn it, I'm going to do it again, and I'm not going to fail this time. Like it takes a certain type of mental fortitude to be that way in anything, especially something where you're creating something with your hands from your own creativity, and then you're directly giving it to someone for them to judge it, like and then they're telling you, nah, this ain't it. That can be a lot. So you definitely got to give yourself props too, man. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here, Clint's here, is because we want all of you to do just what you're doing. No one's gonna get it right the first time, everybody's walk is a different walk. But let me, I could run off, but let me touch on a couple things real quick while I have you on here. That are like some keynotes of what I'm going to be talking about over this live and the next couple of lives. And that's the importance of building relationships in this game. Okay. Now, a lot of people think that, it's all about the music. Now, of course, yeah, you had to learn what you had to learn about structuring that music or whatever. But what that one guy did when he was calling you on your phone is he was testing you. He was really, he saw potential in your music. He's like, okay, well, I can't really get in the car with this guy until I know what he's about. So he's throwing you work and throwing you work. And not only is he testing you, but now you guys are building up that good business rapport, because now if someone were to ask him something about you, then he could say, oh yeah, that guy Sagara, he whoop whoop whoop, he comes through the pins and da 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 da. This is stuff that, like, this is relationship building. Once you get to a point to where those people can count on you, it's easy sailing. A lot of you guys out there in sync land don't know this. You are still in the phase where you're thinking, okay, I just send my music gets judged and this and that. Even when your music gets turned down, when you keep trying and they keep seeing your name come across those emails or whatever, that shows, that you're in it, whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. But it's very important to all of these entities, me, myself included, that we know you're not going to quit. As long as you're in the game, you can learn. You know what I'm saying? So you tell me, just about that. How long did it take, that process of going back and forth with him when he was telling you to basically testing you?
That began around like June of last year and lasted all the way through probably about until the end of that year, of that little test period of just being called and being, just being tested. He wanted to see if I was reliable, like you said.
Right.
And I proved myself, and things are happening. Those placements are snowballing.
Right.
Not
And the cool
just with
thing,
that company.
one of the cool things is, like you mentioned before, like it took a while to complete that task, and then by the time you got back, that person wasn't working there anymore.
Yeah.
Once you establish these relationships, because that happens quite a bit. These companies, they merge, people leave these supervisor jobs, after a couple years, 3 years. A lot of times they get those jobs on the way to something. They're trying to get to another thing, and the job is on the way to that. But the cool thing is that you're one of the guys that establishes that relationship with them along the way. They'll take you with them. When they go to that next job, if it has anything to do with something that can benefit you, they're going to call you and be like, hey, it's happened to me a few times.
Mm-hmm.
A music supervisor that I was working with, he was working with Ryan Seacrest's company, and then he got promoted to director of Boona Murray. And he was the music supervisor of Ryan Seacrest. And then when he got promoted to Boona Murray, he hit me up. He's like, hey, man, I'm director at Boona Murray now. Like, hey, let's get paid. So
Yeah, let's do this.
so it's really cool, man. Yeah, you say so much. I was going to tell you, do you have anything as far as advice that you want to tell people out there that might not have that mental fortitude that you have? Because I'm telling you, man, it takes a lot to get up when you feel like you're knocked down. And that's, a lot of the reason why people quit, doing this thing. So tell them something. You always have all those jewels in the comments, so now I'm putting you on the spot.
One thing I learned, getting into where I am and where I'm going, is that you can't have success without failure. You're gonna stumble. It's practically guaranteed. And
Right.
even some of the top people still get rejected sometimes. It happens. But you can't let it knock you down. You can't let it put you to a point where you're quitting music like I did for like a whole year.
That's crazy.
You just have to keep pushing, no matter how many times you get rejected. You should use those rejections as an opportunity to learn. Like what went wrong? Was it my approach? I mean, you might not always know, but you can have you can infer some things. Like, was my music ready? Was it loud enough? how did my emails look? Was my subject line decent? Uh, did I approach them professionally? You know, you can't just pop up and say, hey, like, hey, yo, or like, oh,
Oh,
what's up? Or you
I
can't
get
do
that
that.
so much,
You
man.
can't do that. You have to learn how to be professional. Um,
Yo, what's up, man?
yeah, don't do that.
I get a
People do
lot
that to
of
me
those.
sometimes, and unless I'm on good terms with someone, or you know, they're from the live or something, I'm like, that's cool. Or you know, if someone wants to work with me, I need that to be their first message. You know, don't just say hey and then nothing else until I respond. Um,
Well, if your intent, the basic rule is if your intent is to do business with that person and that business
mhm,
entails even 50 cents, you're trying to make
yes,
any money at all, then you approach accordingly. You approach in a business like fashion. That's your intent, is to do business. You guys can be cordial, and then let the friendly stuff come organically, but you never, just because you see somebody online speaking a certain way, or like, I'm very casual in the way that I speak on here, just because like I want to be myself. At the end of the day, when I'm talking to you guys, I don't want to be a stuffed shirt. But when it comes to my business and making money and building these relationships, oh, it's I stay suited and booted. It's just the way that it is. and
yeah,
and it's not just because I have to be that way, but it's because I respect everyone that I approach. I know that they're busy. I know that they're giving me some of their valuable time, and I'm going to respect that time, and I'm going to respect them. And that's just the way that you should approach anybody that you, especially if you want something from them eventually, you want to do business with them. It's like, give them some respect up front. If you don't know how to do that, there's ChatGPT to tell you how to formulate an email, easy as heck. No worries. You had mentioned where you are right now and where you're going. So what are some of your goals? Where are you going with your music? You seem
my
like you're very
intent,
ambitious.
my intent is to start getting those high level placements. That's why I've been making songs with people, full songs, collaborations. Something that I rarely ever did in the past because that's where the industry is going. You know, we talked about AI, how AI is going to be able to make tension cues and probably other types of cues as well. And
Oh boy.
when when the going gets tough, you have to pivot sometimes. And I've been listening to what you've been saying and what people in the industry have been saying, and I decided to pivot. You know, sort of level up my game to start reaching those high level placements with people. And my intent is to not only get those high level placements, but to get them with people that I know are hungry for success as well. You know, bring those people with me. You know, those people who've been there in my corner. Um, Especially my collaborators, they're all very talented people. They're all hungry for that success. They're working just as hard as I am, and it would be nice to get some placements with these people, and with these companies as well. Companies that are gonna treat me and my collaborators um, fairly and justly. You know, they're not gonna do any dirt essentially, because that does happen in this industry, and I'm very
Yeah, it
much aware
does.
of that. Um, Stuff like that. Those are my goals. I think my end game, like a dream level placement for me, is like something like Nintendo, these big companies, Nintendo, EA, something like that. Um,
Yeah, we've had quite a few of those.
yeah, pushing myself, to those high level placements because what else can I do at this point? You have to level up.
Ah, so cool, man. So as far as the higher level placements, that's kind of like the space that I'm finding myself as in as the producer whisperer, because there's a lot of guys out there, especially since the pandemic, that are the get your beats on TV guys. If you've been talking to following Clint, and these guys have been online for a long time. Like Clint's been doing videos for like damn near 10 years, I think. And so for all of you guys that are out there seeking information, just make sure that when you're getting information, that you're getting information from the professionals, because there's a lot of new people out there, not giving you the complete information and just giving you very, very basic information. But then there's a lot of you like Sagara here have gotten placements, and you're ready to take your placement game to the next level. And that's kind of where I kind of fit into the space. I'm not, you know, it's kind of like by the time you deal with Smash Coast, for instance, like if you're a beginner, if you haven't gotten placements before, or you don't know all the basics like we discussed, Smash Coast isn't a good company to submit to
Right.
for beginners, because like our client base is a higher level client base. We don't pitch to like reality television and stuff. We get stuff that comes in and we'll send music to it, but our efforts are like high network and advertising, mainly advertising now, and video games, because we want to, stay established on that level in the game as a company, but we also want to put money in your pocket per placement,
Right.
when we can. We don't want to have you guys doing a bunch of work and then counting on the back end. And because the pandemic came and there's so many new producers getting in the game, not really knowing the game, they're just like, beats on TV, beats on TV. They're not concerned about who they're pitching to. They're just sending their music to everybody that'll take their music, and they're not focusing their efforts, and they're not really aware of like if their music is going to end up on broadcast television versus streaming, and they're counting on those back end royalties. But if a lot of those placements are on like Hulu and those streaming platforms, you don't get hardly any royalties. You don't get any money,
Yeah.
right?
It's pennies.
Um, right. And so, like you said, you have to pivot in this game. So what we're going to talk about on the next live, I'll have you on here real quick, is we're going to go back to the AI discussion, because since the last time we all spoke, I found out that I'd stand corrected on some things. I was like, last week I said that, yeah, AI was going to be able to create these tension cues with, 100% efficiency, yada, 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 right? But I wasn't too worried about the songs, the vocals and stuff. I'm 100% wrong about that. AI is going to be able to create music just as dope as we do. It's going to be able to do it way faster than we can do it. The thing of it is that the thing is, as you know, everybody that's ever produced music and that music is online, AI studies that. That the internet is the data set. So not only are you going to be able to, ask AI to create instrumentals in the sound of Timbaland, or in the sound of Just Blaze, or in the sound of whoever, you're going to be able to say, well, give me a song in the vibe of a Missy Elliott, or a Diana Ross even, or whatever, and AI is going to be able to do it because that information's out there for it to study. So what do we do? Okay, we do what Sagara was just talking about, and you pivot and you start creating live music. The reason why is because we're not going to get shut out of the game completely. There is going to be a major disruption in sync, because as a matter of fact, I don't want to put her on blast, but Lady Producer hit me this week in the DMs and let me know that a library that she had just submitted music to hit her up and said, yeah, they're joining the AI game. And, they gave her some options, and she could opt in or opt out. And so the dominoes are falling. The companies, just like I said, they're going behind the scenes. They're letting AI companies come give them this big bag of money so they can study their libraries as data sets. And then really soon we're going to see probably new companies as well as these libraries implementing this technology that they're learning now. The reason why we do full songs is because there's always value in popular music, and there's always a coolness to working with a real live recording artist. There's no coolness to working with an AI. There's no real AI artist, and even if it's a hologram, there's no coolness to that. A lot of these music supervisors and companies really do want to get behind the launching of a career, or jump on the bandwagon or moving train of someone that already has some momentum. And getting placements is a great way to do that. I don't want to sit here and do a whole live with you just sitting there. So in summation, man, it was really great having you on here. So is there anything you want to leave anybody with, or did I miss anything? That
I think you got it. Folks, just keep it pushing. Do your due diligence. Like like George said, you know, just stay on it. You have to do your research, utilize the tools that you have available to you as well. Like Chat GPT is one of the most useful tools you can have. If you don't understand like a contract or something or some legal jargon, you can put your contracts in there. You know, utilize all these new tools that are coming out. The search engines, if you don't quite understand the intricacies of like file formats or just anything that you don't know, you know, use Google, use YouTube University. It's there for you, and that's about it. You know, no excuses.
Music, musically, what is your specialty? I didn't even touch on that. What type of music? You have a wide range of influences, but like, what is your main genre that you get down in?
Um, so I produce. I'm at 4 genres now, but you know, mostly hip hop, dramedy, sports, hybridized sports rather. I tend to incorporate, you know, my metal side with the hip hop because I think that fits very well for sports. And house music, I've been very interested in that. I'm currently working on a
I used to love house music. Oh my God.
yeah, house and dance. I'm currently working on a female empowerment house dance music album with a very talented singer, and but also I plan to bring my mother and my sister in on that because they've been asking, they've been seeing me get these placements, and they're like, hey, you know, let's do this, and I told them how to sign up for a PRO and all that stuff, and you know, we're just gonna make some stuff happen. But yeah, to summarize, those are my main genres, and of course, you know, I want to pick up the genres that are getting placed as well. I've been doing my due diligence with these video game placements that I've been hearing. Like
Mm.
Summer Games Fest was on yesterday, and I listened to what was getting placed, and it was like very top quality hip hop, triumphant stuff, and you know, just I've been pushing myself towards making what works essentially.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. And what I need you to do is, and I'm going to say it in front of everybody, I'm probably unprofessional for doing this, but you have my personal email because we had to connect before this live. I need you to go ahead and shoot me a playlist.
Okay.
And because I'm sure you have one in the Smash Coast email,
Yes.
but we don't get into that right now. But we're going through those, but there's tons of them in there. So just go ahead and send me one of my email and we'll talk. And
Okay.
do you
Appreciate that.
and I didn't even let anybody else ask you any questions. Does anybody in here have any questions for Sagara while he's in here?
Yeah. Ask me some questions, y'all.
No. He's a wealth of information because he's gone through it, man. He's gone through the fire and come out the other side. So he's definitely a success story. Very inspirational, man.
I appreciate that.
You're the epitome of why I'm here. I want everybody to do what you're doing, to just keep trying to find where you fit in and get in where you fit in.
Hmm.
Recognize where your strengths are and your weaknesses. And this is what I love about what you said because you saw where you needed to get better. You didn't just rely on, oh, I'm dope at this and this, because a lot of guys just do that. If they're dope at like trap beats, they just try to just, nah, I'm just gonna lean harder into these trap beats, you know, and they don't try to really expand their knowledge. A guy on the team, I always talk about him. I'm bragging on this guy, Guilty Flores. He did the same thing. He used to make, a commercial production, and he just was like, you know what, man? He's a gamer, so his dream was to compose for video games, and he took a year off, just like you did, and he learned theory. Taught himself the same thing. YouTube taught himself theory, got his chords right, and then started doing mock demos of, he'd take like film trailers and he'll redo the music, but then he would send those trailers to the original composers, right? He'll
Oh, wow.
at them, and then they started friending them because they were dope, and it was his take, and and so now he's in the game now, like. But it's stuff like that. He found his way, and you found. I think it's just dope, man. I get excited
It is
about it.
dope.
I hate to be emotional about it, but it's just dope because too many people don't do it. They get discouraged, and they or their personal lives, or and you are fortunate. You have a good support system, and your mom did music, so that's real cool too. She's like, you need to
So,
make
yeah,
music, make money with
yeah,
this. So
she was
okay,
one of my biggest motivators.
so creation role music says, how would you incorporate AI into music production? You try to get all deep with it right away, huh? Come on,
That's a good
man.
question. That's a good question. I already do. I already do. I've already been coming out swinging with the AI assisted music. Um, there is a plugin called Scalar 2. It's a music theory tool that it has elements of AI, but it will help you come up with chord progressions just to get you started. Um, I tend to do that a
Sca-
lot.
Scalar too.
Yeah, Scalar 2 by Plugin Boutique, I believe. Um, that's the main one I use. I don't typically use much else, but there are generative AI tools out there for like melodies that I mean, that's what they're there for. You can utilize them. They were made for a reason. Um, but especially Scalar, utilizing the chord progressions that it comes up with, it'll suggest uh, follow-up chords that will all fit into that progression, stuff like that. I tend to use that quite often. Even though I know music theory, having that tool there helps me crank out music faster. So like, why wouldn't I use that?
So your take on AI, using AI with music production, is that AI is just a tool, just like anything else, to be
Yes, it's a
used
tool.
and shouldn't be feared or scoffed
No,
at. Like I see a lot of people like, oh,
no,
you're cheating, and like, that kind of
it's
thing.
it's,
People
it's
still say
not.
that about loops,
Man,
and people use the hell out of loops. So
it's just like any other tool. To me, it's like um, when I saw the internet really take off as a kid, because before, like in the '90s, the internet wasn't that great at all. Um, it's just another tool at your disposal. There's nothing wrong with utilizing, these tools.
yeah, we couldn't even do this in the
Yeah,
'90s.
we couldn't do this. We had like dial up, had to wait for everybody to get off the phone before you could use the internet, and now
Right.
within the span of 20 years, we have all these tools at our disposal, and it's like, why not? It's not cheating. Um, and like I said, I already know music theory, so it's helping me unlock, my full potential using, what I know. And you can utilize these tools. You can ask ChatGPT for chord progressions if you want. It'll tell you. So that's all dope. Any other questions?
Just amazing. Okay, so let's see. I saw one up here. It said, I think Ag the OG, is that who said this? What's the best way do you think to get? Let me make sure it's the right person.
Oh,
Just a
yeah, I see
second
it.
here. To get into video games. Do you know?
I have my ways of doing it, but I know you also have your ways because you have those
Uh,
connections.
it's
But for
I know
me,
how I'm gonna answer, but you go ahead.
because I'm doing it, independently, I go to sites like itch.io. This is where a bunch of indie developers are. There's video game marketplaces like the Unreal Marketplace,
See, I didn't even know that.
what's the other engine? Unity Marketplace, where you can sell your music, reaching out through the app stores. I learned this from um, good Lord, I forgot the man's name, but Greg Savage. There we go.
Oh, Greg, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he's
he,
always talking about video
he's
games.
always
Yeah,
talking about games, so I learned that from the lessons he provided. But there's so many different avenues, but the main ones for me is that, and also through Discord. Discord is a very useful tool for finding game developers to work with. Now, these aren't big companies that I'm working with. These are sometimes, well, most of the time, these are individuals paying out of pocket for this, for this music. And but you can reach out independently. You can sign a contract if you want. There's usually no royalties involved. It's all upfront payments.
yeah, they buy it out.
Yeah, they buy it out.
And the reason why that's so brilliant is, for you guys that don't know, is because like in television film, the music is used in post, pre-mean before, post-mean and after. So basically they'll film everything up and then throw all the music in at the end, in most cases for television when they're, for scripted, like it's really fast moving. Video games is totally different. Usually the music is incorporated in the inception of the video game before they even start doing anything. When they're creating the game, the whole musical element is included in that because, you know, as you guys know, a lot of the time, music drives the video game. And so getting in with the developers is brilliant. Like, you know, I'm tripping because like we're a whole company and we had our asses up in Nickelodeon trying to talk to people and like and it was cool. We made some great relationships, but like we're way after the fact. If we're up at
Right.
Nickelodeon, like they've already sold their work to Nickelodeon or made their deal, and music is already included and stuff like that. And so that's something that we had. This is like right before the pandemic. We were having a meeting with those soups up there or whatever, and we learned that like, okay, you got to go to the developers. So yeah, so all of you guys as individuals out there, indies, that's great. Name those spots again. You said something IO.
Itch.io,
Mm-hmm.
the Unreal Marketplace, the Unity Marketplace, and I'm sure there's other, but the Discords as well, Discord servers that have developers in them. Um, if you DM me, you know, folks in the chat, if you DM me, I'll tell you what servers I tend to patrol for video game placements. But yeah, it's mostly those, and that's how I go about getting game placements. You know, they may not be triple A, but they're still paying bills. You know, and we're still
Right.
building a good product together. Even if the games don't come out, you know, that work was still made and that money was still obtained. So
What's up, Zoe Duncan? Nice to see you.
what's
Avatar, nice
good.
to see you. That was a
So
great answer, by the way. Okay, so Creation World Music says, what are some networking tips for a newcomer? There you go.
um, networking tips: become proficient at LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is one of the best networking. I guess we can call it social media for, you know, professional social media. That's one of the best tools at your disposal. That's how I made some of the connections that I have at this point. Like when I was talking about the music company a few weeks ago, the AI music company. Um,
Hmm.
that's how we connected, was through LinkedIn. I had my profile set up, and make sure, you know, you're posting every now and again. But follow people, reach out, um, always be professional, state your business. You know, on the first paragraph. You know, don't waste anybody's time because everybody's busy. Um, stuff like that. You know, all the main thing is remaining professional. You know, it really is. It sounds hard, but it really is that simple. It's just tedious sometimes. And I
I would
think, yeah,
add, I would add
right,
also that, you know, you guys are networking, which is 100% people skills, right? And then you're
uh-huh,
trying to get somebody on your side, you know, to rock with you. So
uh-huh,
one of the things I've learned over the years is that you can't really approach anyone with a "can you help me or do something for me" attitude. You have to bring value to them,
exactly. That's
right?
why in every
So
email that I send, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
In every email that I send, I'm very careful with my wording, and I always say mutually beneficial. That's the wording that I
Right.
use, mutually beneficial, because you don't want things to be too one-sided in either direction. You know?
Right. And that's beautiful because you're letting them know you're trying to get something out of it and you definitely want to give them something out of it. But it's at the end of the day it's customer service. So having an attitude like, you know, I'm here to help you, I'm here to do
Mm-hmm.
something for you, you know, and if you allow me to do that, if they do allow you to help them, then you're winning by default because now you're in a situation with them, you're getting placements. You know,
Right.
so and it's not just these entities, you know, music supervisors and stuff. You guys are doing a lot of collaborations with each other online and each other's DMs and stuff. And, you know, it's the same thing. If you approach somebody, you know, no one owes you anything. No one has to do anything for you. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
something to offer to a situation, lead that way. Let them know that, you know, I'd like to offer my services or, you know, collaborate and I can bring this to the table, you know, but let them know that you're there for them as well as, you know, everybody knows if you're reaching out to somebody, you want something from them. You just don't got to sound
Right.
all like that, all thirsty, you know. And this is a, you know, hustle is a game. And so you want to win these interactions. So very, very dope answer, man. I appreciate that one. And that was
Thank you. Thank you.
to yeah, Creation World Music. And Agda OG says, I feel like LinkedIn is number one answers to AI. Uh, Okay, so you guys have any more questions? He's in Florida, man, so you never know when a hurricane might just pop up on him.
Yeah, I'm planning on getting out of here in a couple of years from now. I can't deal with those hurricanes anymore.
You know, I used to suggest LA. I don't suggest anybody come out here.
No,
Not,
I've heard some
not unless
terrible
not
things.
unless you have your pockets already like good, then it's just probably the best city, you know, slash state to be in if you're already set. But this is a hard, hard place to live if you're trying to grind it out.
I got a funny story about, the hurricanes. I had a brief, and the storm was over our heads while I was cranking that brief out.
No way.
And 5 minutes after I submitted that brief, the files, our power went off. And it was on for like a solid week. But I was rushing. I was composing as fast as I could to beat that storm. And we lost
That's
power not even
crazy.
5 minutes after that. But it's stuff like that I'm like, it's all right. The storm's messing up the money now, so I got to
Ah,
dip.
where are you trying to move to when you leave?
Probably back to Georgia, maybe.
I
Where
I went
it's
to Atlanta, um, stayed in Buckhead for I was there for probably 2 months. Went and visited a friend out there, and I loved it. You know, I loved it out there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, Georgia's very beautiful. I used to live in Douglasville, which is a very rough part of town, but I also lived in Marietta, which is a very beautiful city. And I think
Yeah,
I
I've been
would
to
go back
Marietta.
there. I'd
Yeah,
probably go
Marietta's
back
cool.
there.
Sweet, man. Okay, so let me go down to the bottom, make sure that I'm surprised you guys don't have more questions, but Sagara is spinning in a tornado, finishing a brief. That was revision music says
That's the homie.
spinning a tornado, still finishing a brief. Yeah, that's dedication, man. Zoe Duncan lived in Marietta for a year, and Realistic Productions lives in Atlanta.
Yeah,
That's
Georgia's
where he is
dope.
right now. And Outer Reach is in ATL as well. Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
crazy. So you got online fam already there waiting for you. Okay, so this is gonna be the first of more than one, man, because you have a lot of information, and one of the reasons why I had you come on here is because like the last two or three win sections, like you had like every week there was something. I'm like, okay, and then you had bringing value, so I appreciate that.
Appreciate
Don't
that.
stop that. You're helping me out quite a bit. And for all of you guys that are in here, I've been thinking you guys can let me know this, and just you can help me out too. We're talking about social media right now, okay? So I've been on this producer whisperer thing for a long time now. I don't have a ton of followers, but that's cool. I have the right followers. But it's been a couple years I've been doing these. I've been doing the lives probably like a year or so now. Um, and I pop on yesterday, and I'm sure you guys already know this, and I didn't know this, right? Um, there's another dude on here called the producer whisperer, right? And he's called producer whisperer, but he doesn't talk about sync or anything like that. He's a producer, but his space is all of the guys that do like beat stars and beat stores. And so he's
Right.
kind of guiding them through that space and how to sell their beats and not get cheated and this and that or whatever. And it I don't know, it made me feel kind of a little type of way a little bit, like because lately, and you guys let me know if you guys have seen it too. There's a lot of movement in this sync space right now. There's a lot of guys online, with like basically trying to bring people to them with let me show you how to get your beats on TV. That's the tagline or whatever. And they're offering information. I've had some conversation with some of the vets. I won't name who they are, but like you guys know who the vets are. And there's a little bit of irritation. We're not gonna like poop on nobody's parade or nothing, but like, guys that are like, they'll get a couple placements and the next thing you know, they're like, hey, get in my DMs and that kind of thing or whatever. So it just seems like the space is convoluted. And I like to separate myself from that. I don't want to be just perceived as like one of the sync guys that are on here talking about sync. I want to, my experience and my expertise to to stand out, so you guys know who you're talking to when you're talking to me. And so I've been thinking about the right platform to do that. But because I'm an older guy and I'm running this business, I'm not as hip to this whole social media thing as I may need to be as far as growing my audience. So my thinking is that I was going to move these lives instead of continuing to do them here, which has basically been a test for me because I've been okay. Well, let me be consistent. 11 o'clock every Friday, like a TV show, and it's been dope because I built you guys up as you know, uh, as a team here, and I love it. But to be quite frank, there's not enough of y'all. There's you know, I get like 30, 40 people tops on a good Friday, and so I've been thinking about moving my lives to YouTube because YouTube is a search engine, and there's a lot more people that are looking for hashtag sync licensing, hashtag, you know, whatever it is that, you know, I offer on there. So do you guys use YouTube? Okay, I gotta ask this. Okay, so um, put a one in the comments if you guys use YouTube more than Instagram for things like this. Do you go to YouTube for your lives and your informational, you know, interactions more than Instagram? And do you suggest I change to over there and start doing the YouTube thing? And what do you think?
I would say yes. A lot of the early things that I found out about sync, it was all on YouTube. Even the lives that I was showing up to for submitting music. I think that would be most beneficial, to be honest with you. I think it's really hard to find stuff on Instagram because most of the time it's not in chronological order. It's all over the place, and it's very difficult to really, at least to me, it's very difficult to find things on Instagram. I think YouTube would probably be the better platform to use, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I actually have like I do all these lives on Instagram on my phone, and I actually have a you know I got a dope camera set up and you know dope lens and you know really good YouTube setup. I just haven't done it yet.
Right.
So, but I'm seeing by all the ones in here, uh, I'm surprised I don't see the word stupid. Like, yes, stupid. Go to go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. So, all right. So, all right. Well, with all see, that's why I love y'all, man. Y'all keep it real with me. So, next week then may be my last live on here, and I might be well the next week or next 2 weeks because I need to now. You guys are like, damn, I need to do an intro because it's a YouTube channel, so it's kind of
Right.
set up different. So let me get my stuff together, and yeah, in the next couple of weeks I'll be moving to YouTube then, and we'll get off of here and we'll do another one as soon as I get on there. I'll have you come back, and then you're gonna do a report of what happened in the next last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm sure you're gonna have more wins.
Yeah, I'd be happy to pull up.
That's what's up, man. So don't forget to hit me in the email, and yeah, can we get a bunch of fire emojis for this guy here, man? Sagara Productions in here. Very, very dope interview. Very informative. I cannot express how much game this guy has. How old are you, man?
I'm 31, so I'm getting up there. But
No, you're young, man. You
I'm
young.
still young, but I'm not as young as I was. But yeah, I know.
You know what's cool about 31? I'm gonna tell you. Like I have son. My son's older than you. My oldest son's older than you. You're at that age where game really, really starts to kick in. Like
Hmm.
you make less mistakes, and this is when it goes. This is when 31 is when experience starts to turn to wisdom. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And so like you start to make wiser decisions based on you just having more experience behind you to feed off of. It's a great, great age, man. I'm jealous. I wish I could go back to 31. I'd be on some Bill Gates stuff right now. Whew, for real.
Yeah,
But that's what's up.
all those
Go
mistakes
ahead.
I made in my 20s. When I hit my 30s, I'm like, you have to do some introspection, and really start. I think that's when you really start thinking about, mistakes that were made, and really, internalizing that wisdom, like you said. And I've been noticing that happening, and I've been prospering because of that. I'm really appreciative know, of you having me on here and all the advice from the community, community veterans. I'm super, super thankful for that. So thanks for having me on.
Beautiful, man. I'll talk to you soon. And I'm going to be posting this on the YouTube channel unedited. So I'm just going to just download it and just post this whole thing in its entirety on there. And then I'll let you guys know when it's up. So you have a great one, man. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you soon. Yeah.
And hold on, let me.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we're good. I was going to get, you go ahead and pop off and then I'll go ahead and sign off.
All right.
Take it easy. All right.
You too.
See, and that's the reason why we got to do the YouTube, because the YouTube format is a lot more podcasty and we can have a lot more professional, whatever. So, real quick, while I have you guys on here, I wanted to really quickly reiterate, if you're not working with artists right now, start doing collaborations, whatever you got to do, get into each other's DMs and start collaborating and making real music. And when I say real music, I mean by, full songs. Don't just be limited to this current era, because it's synchronization. All time periods are needed and used. They're especially looking for music anywhere from the 80s all the way up to through the 2000s. You guys that are, hold on. Okay, I was reading. Up through the 2000s. If you guys that are old enough to remember that time period, the 2000s, you remember there was a large, we had a large amount of urban music available back then, from a lot of different types of R&B to a lot of different types of hip hop. All of that music is sought after and in sync right now and trending. And even before that, if you want to go to like the 70s and 80s, so you talk about disco, pop, go-go music, that Detroit go-go music, that Midwest, East Coast stuff, fast pace that they're doing. Crunk era, 2000s, Out of Reach said, that era is really, really needed, in sync. So just build a catalog up for that. They use this type of stuff a lot in advertising, because advertisers usually like to use iconic music when they have a chance to. These brands like to connect these iconic songs, because they want their brands to have that iconic feel. But sometimes they don't have iconic budgets. So sound-alikes are a big, big deal. So if you can do, anything with those types of vibes, that 2000s vibes, that late, the late 90s, 2000s, the 2010s, all of that feel good stuff, the club stuff, the summertime stuff, the mid to up tempo stuff, very, very sought after. Anything with singing. If you guys are going after artists, female artists, I see, like, if you want to weigh which ones are like getting asked for, females, males, females are getting asked for way more. I know that was crazy analogy, but females are getting asked for way more as far as sync is concerned. And it doesn't surprise me, because even if you look on the Billboard chart in history, like, most of the hit songs have been female singers. The biggest songs, the biggest money makers in music are females. Name somebody that's made more money than Beyonce. Name somebody that's made more money than Taylor Swift. And we could even go to J-Lo, and like, we can go on and on and on. So female singers, way more marketable as well, sex appeal, beauty, yada, yada, yada. But as far as winning in the sync game and being able to move up higher in the sync, this is what you need to do. And just like I told Sagara on the live a while ago, my space in this game is to get you from beginner sync 101 up into, graduate level sync, to where you're getting money up front, good money up front, and you are able to foster and maintain the relationships that are necessary to keep you winning in the game. So right now, while you guys either haven't gotten placements yet, or you're at the beginning of getting placements, I want you to spend as much time as you can focus on building these relationships that are needed for you to get these full songs put together, and then create a full song catalog. Every style, time period. Focus on mid to up tempo songs, feel good songs that are general in topic, and then Um, Also, if you can do holiday offerings, we're already pitching holiday music. They're already asking us for holiday music. Um, Things are done early, man. We got like right after the NBA finals, we're gonna be working on Super Bowl ads like this month. You know what I'm saying? So uh gotta pay attention to the special occasions, Super Bowl, playoffs, Olympics, all these monthly things, Pride Month, this month, that month. Like there's just a lot of stuff that companies create playlists for and pitch music based on, what's going on, current events. So pay attention to these type of things and make these types of music. These are the type of things that are gonna, have people really paying attention to you even before you even contacted anyone, before you even going back and forth. When they're looking at your social media, which is basically your calling card, your business card, and they see what you're posting, and what you're promoting, make sure there's a lot of that variety of full songs and what you're doing and what you're promoting. And I still saw some social media mistakes this week. People getting off topic, man. And I wanted to clear up something too. I'm always talking about, you guys staying on topic with your social media because these companies do look at your social media. And I didn't want you to think that I didn't want you to ever post anything except you producing music, except you in the lab, except this what you're working on or whatever. Nah, sometimes post glimpses into your personal life. I see, guys posting, moments with their kids or moments with their loved ones, or they're out with, you know, friends sometimes or whatever. Okay, and this is cool. These are human moments. Like, but don't do it a lot. Don't fall into like posting stuff. Oh, Donald Trump just got indicted. Don't post stuff like that. Don't don't post anything like that. You can show your personal side, as far as your family and your moments and stuff like that sometimes, but be smart. The reason why you're there is to let the public know, these potential clients and customers, what you're there to do. You're professional in what you do. You make music professionally, and you hope to, have them as a potential client or customer. And so the only way for you to let them know what you're about is through your social media before you have a back and forth with them. So make sure your social media is cleaned up, and for God's sakes, create songs, because the instrumental game is about to dry up. I'm not on no doom and gloom stuff, but we've been having this AI conversation for about a month now, and uh, uh, they're coming, man. I just can't. Next week is full AI episode. Put it that way. Next week we're gonna go full AI. I got a lot more due diligence to do this week, but from what I heard last week, I watched a 2-hour interview from this guy that they call the Godfather of AI. He is one of the principal uh, people in charge of creating and you know running things as far as AI with Google. And he it was just alarming, man. Just alarming. I forget his name real quick. I should be more prepared. That's why next week is the AI conversation. I promise I'll be prepared. I'll have my notes. But it's nah. Creation Road says no politics or religion or anything else. No, man, no. This ain't the platform. No, no, this ain't the platform for that. None of this is the platform. If you want to start a political podcast or religious podcast, then yeah, talk about that. But right now, you have an opportunity to let the public know what you're about as far as your music. So that should be the whole message all the time. Not saying that's what you were saying, creation. Well, I'm just answering the question, but you know what I'm saying. Um, yeah, it gets crazy out here, man. Like, so make sure you're staying on topic when you can. Don't fall into the trap of like participating in, oh, John Morant said it was a fake gun, or Trump got indicted, or, you know, a UFO landed in Texas, and this the person in the backyard saw 10-foot aliens. And oh yeah, I see all the news, y'all. Like I see all of it, and I'm keeping up on the NBA playoffs, on the finals, and all that. I don't bring up none of that stuff online. But I'm a regular person. I see all of that stuff. You know, I participate in the occasional conspiracy theory now and then. Not nothing crazy. I don't fall down any rabbit holes or anything, but I'm human. But I just keep it off of here because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want to waste your time, and I definitely don't want to project that, that's my lifestyle. So With all that being said, I'm about to get on out of here. It's been a Agda OG86 says Trump gonna make you lose a placement. Heck yeah, man. Trump will make you lose everything. If you're a Trumper on here, don't take offense. See, that's the thing. No matter what you say about politics or religion, you're always gonna offend somebody. These UFOs are gonna mess the bread up. Oh man, you guys want to have a UFO conversation? Woo! My son is up here on here, Avatar. Yeah, man. The UFOs have been lighting up lately, but we're talking about stuff we don't need to talk about. See, that's what I'm saying, man. We don't need to be on here. Y'all get off of here, man. It's been a beautiful, beautiful live. I'd like to thank Sagara Productions for very, very, very good interview, man. And we're gonna be on here next week, and look forward to us moving to YouTube within the next 2 episodes because you guys have spoken. I'm on the wrong platform. I've been grinding it out here. I've been diligent, and at 11 o'clock every Friday like clockwork. So I'm going to take this same work ethic over to YouTube, and we're going to grow this platform over there. And what's up, Phil Mason? How you doing, brother? Phil is a beast. Phil is one of those people. He gets it. Fire Tracks is a beast. He gets it. Will the live be saved? If I missed some of it, yeah, I'm going to post it to the YouTube channel, and I'm not even going to edit it. I'm just going to throw it on here just like this with all of the mistakes and everything. I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all. I'll see you guys next week. And that's what's up. I'm the producer whisperer. Peace.